In the early days of my channel, way back in 2016, I basically wanted to start pretty much every type of marble race series I could possibly think of. So I started a survival marble race, I started a tournament race, I started a time trial race. I even started like some sort of camp thing? What was I even thinking back then? But there's one of those series in particular that I want to finally finish after all these years, and that's the team marble race. Oh, there's also like 2 other series I want to finish, but that's no point here, okay? In case you don't know how the team marble race works, I took these 56 marbles and split them all into 4 different teams. Those teams would then compete against each other in a bunch of challenges, and the marbles would keep getting eliminated until there was only one left. Except that there's way more than one marble left because I haven't finished the series yet. I mean, come on, it's literally been like 6 years since the last episode. So, if you've pretty much just forgotten basically everything that's happened in the series, or you just don't want to have to spend hours binge watching a bunch of videos that are nearly like a decade old at this point, then look no further. This video is basically going to be a reasonably quick recap of everything that's happened in the team marble race so far. So now you can get up to speed much more quickly before you watch the rest of the series, which will probably come out at some point, I don't know. So anyway, let's start with part 1. Like I said, I split the marbles into 4 teams using this unnecessarily long team decider that was made even more unnecessarily long thanks to these stragglers up here. Hey, word of advice, if you're ever recording a race and something like that happens, just delete the recording and try to fix the issue. Anyway, now that we've got the teams sorted out, let's get into the first challenge. Each team had their own massively oversized arena, and all they had to do was just keep aimlessly bouncing off that wall and get all the team members into these tiny little buckets before the other teams did. The yellow and red teams finished first, so the bottom 2 teams, that's the blue and green teams, went into the elimination challenge. And that elimination challenge was an absolute Jack Sparrow classic called Musical Magentas, otherwise known as musical blocky pixels on a screen that just happen to resemble magenta marbles. Each team had 10 of those things, and the 4 members of each team who didn't grab one of them went into the voting period. Yes, voting in the marble race, the absolute best idea anyone's ever come up with / obviously sarcasm. Anyway, to save you the pain of having to sit through this extremely hard to follow challenge, these 8 marbles end up in the voting. Viewers had to vote for 1 marble from each team, and the marble with the most votes on each team was eliminated. And those marbles happen to be this commonly used but extremely unpopular colour, sorry Olive fans out there, and this colour that the vast majority of people probably won't have even heard of. The next team challenge was called Majority Rules. Sound familiar? The marbles all got flung out this dizzy spinny thing, and they all fell into one of these boxes at the bottom. Only the box with more marbles in it sent all those marbles into the next round, while the rest of the marbles kinda just like sat there, I don't know. Also, some of the rounds had more than 2 boxes because I just wanted to make it interesting, but because of that, a measly 4 marbles made it to the last round. All those marbles had to do was just race to the bottom of these bowls to win for their team. Vermilion, at least I think that's Vermilion, made it to that huge bowl at the end first, but just got pipped at the post by red, orange, and lime. Sorry, I mean red - orange and lime, not red, orange and lime. Marble names back then. Anyway, the yellow and blue teams were safe, sending the red and green teams into this absolute eyesore of a challenge that was basically over in like 15 seconds. Viewers then had to vote among these marbles by date at time NZT. How clumsy of me. For all we know, the voting could still be going on right now. Anyway, tan, another commonly used but not very popular colour, got voted out of the green team, but on the red team, platinum and dark green actually tied for the most votes. How on earth are we gonna break this tie? Oh, how about we just play a game from a marble play series I'm probably never gonna end up actually doing anyway. I ended up randomly deciding on this game, where the 2 tied marbles had to shoot themselves into all these different coloured bowls to get points. Whichever marble had more points up to plus in seconds was safe from one. Oh wait, it's actually 2 minutes, my bad. Anyway, platinum was absolutely hopeless at this challenge for the first like 40 or so seconds. He then clawed it back quite a bit, and he was even in the lead with about 10 seconds to go, but he ended up just falling short. So long, platinum. Anyway, now we're down to 52 marbles. For the next challenge, those 52 marbles raced to the end of a course, and they all got points for their team according to their placements. So like, the first 5 marbles got a lot of points, the next lot got slightly fewer points, so you get the idea. The 2 teams with the most points after 5 rounds was safe. Also, what the actual flibbity gibbet is going on here? Also, I know putting one of those shooter thingies at the end of your race was super common back then, but 2 shooters? That's just a recipe for an incredibly painstakingly long leg that you'll need to speed up heaps in editing. Lesson learned, don't ever do that. Anyway, after all that racing, the blue and green teams went into the elimination challenge again. I mean, seriously, this is the green team's 3rd time there in a row. Get your act together, you lot. This challenge was something I like to call the bowl dropper. The marbles basically had to fall down these bowls without touching this dangerous looking red stuff on the sides. Oh, look at you seamlessly falling through a whole bunch of bowls at once. Anyway, I basically just ran multiple rounds of this until we had 4 losers on each team to send to the voting. From there, 2 yellow marbles of the dark and translucent varieties got voted out. The 4th team challenge was a relay race. In case you don't know what a relay race is for some reason, one member of each team started off the race, then once they got to this point, they passed over the 2nd team member, who then ran the next part of the race. Once they finished that, they passed over the 3rd team member, who then... you get the idea. The first 2 teams to finish all 14 legs of this race were safe. I mean, at least this challenge is like way easier to follow, I think, until we get to the point where the teams were just so far apart that you couldn't even see them all at the same time. Another reason not to make an incredibly long race like that. It also didn't really help that green finished first for the blue team while the camera wasn't even focused on that part of the course. On the bright side, the green team finished 2nd, dodging elimination for the first time ever in this whole competition. This was also the yellow team's first time in the elimination, but to make matters worse, they ended up placing dead last in the challenge, which meant that they actually lose 2 members instead of just 1. Oh, by the way, as a reward for finishing first, the blue team members all got to battle it out for an immunity gem. If you've got one of those in your hand when you're up for voting, you'll be safe, and someone else will just take your spot in the voting instead. So it's basically just like a get out of jail free card, except that you're also sending someone else into jail. Anyway, green managed to get hold of that gem first. Hey, at least the camera was focused on him that time. Moving on. For the elimination challenge, all the marbles had to do was just cross a conveyor belt. Sounds easy, right? Well, not when you got these spinny thingies that just spin the wrong way. If you get pushed back by those things and you fall down there, like Pink just did, then you're up for voting. Aside from a few marbles just trying to break the system, these marbles fell down the hole and ended up in the dreaded voting. From there, these 3 marbles got the most votes and got eliminated. Oh, hold on, no they didn't. I did a twist, didn't I? The twist was, instead of the most voted marbles getting eliminated straight away, each voted marble got gave them a clone of themselves. If one of your clones gets into one of these little holes over there, you're going home. So that means the more votes you got, the more clones you'll have, so the more likely it is you'll get eliminated. Anyway, this marble, who got the most votes on the red team by a long shot anyway, got eliminated along with these 2 marbles, so this marble's life was spared. I mean, to be fair, there was only like a 1 vote difference, so For the 5th team challenge, I must have been like super obsessed with that 1v1 league KH did, so I just made a challenge out of that. The marbles had to shoot themselves into one of these little buckets to start a quick little race against another marble. The winner of that race got a point for the team, well, most of the time, while the loser got nothing. The 2 teams with the most points after 8 minutes, my goodness, were safe. There was also an immunity gem that nobody got for a good portion of this challenge until Cream just snatched out of nowhere. Just as well, because her team ended up losing the challenge. And guess what the elimination challenge was? More 1v1s. Just like before, every time 2 marbles got into that thing, they'd race off against each other. The winner of that race was safe, while the loser went straight into the voting. I kept on doing this until 4 marbles on each team got into the voting. Just like before, each marble had a clone for every vote they got, but this time I decided to put a cannon next to each team's arena. I bet that's gonna put a dent in the ratings. Once that timer at the top ran out, the cannons fired. Oh wait, sorry, I forgot to mention, if you get hit by one of those big cannonballs, you'll get eliminated. Also, both of the most voted marbles actually survived for once. In the next team challenge, every team faced off against every other team round robin style. So that means whichever team wins the most matchups wins the challenge. Glad we got that cleared up. Anyway, in each matchup, both teams had their own cannon, and each team's marbles had to shoot themselves out of their cannon to knock this tower over. Whichever team hit more blocks onto the other team's side won the matchup. Looks like a pretty fun challenge, except for the times when a couple of things got jammed into the cannons and I had to just drag them up myself. Oh wait, I guess that won't fix itself. Anyway, the red and green teams won, and purple got one of those shiny little gems. As for the blue and yellow teams, they got fired out of cannons yet again. Was it with me and cannons today? All the marbles had to do was get lucky enough to land in one of the green slots to be safe, but don't land in a red slot, otherwise you'll be up for voting. Also, I forgot to mention, the slots just change completely every 5 seconds or so. Sorry not sorry. Anyway, dark blue, lavender, silver and chartreuse were the first 4 marbles to land in a red slot for the blue team. Those 2 dodged a bullet there. But wow, the yellow team. You all just had to avoid the red slots the whole time, didn't you? I've still got to send someone into the elimination, so how about you 4? Since you were kind of the last 4 to get into a green slot and everything. Anyway, for part 7, I decided to just ditch the old movie maker and get completely new editing software. So that meant a brand new style of videos, much better quality, and check this out, animated voting displays. Like how cool's that? Anyway, the marbles up for voting all got mixed around like clothes in a washing machine or something. And there were also these big circles that kept on shrinking and shrinking until they got so small that these darker circles could actually be touched. And you know what happens if you touch those Wait, did you two just hit that thing before it even shrunk the whole way? Gotta love Algodoo sometimes. Anyway, for the next team challenge, the marbles basically had to break one of their teammates out of a cage and get that teammate back to the start to get a point. First to 3 wins. So it's basically a bit like a jailbreak, but more legal. Anyway, despite this weird fiasco, the red team won the first 2 points of the game, so they're already just 1 point away from winning. But then, the blue team literally won the next 3 points in a row and snatched the win away from them. Oh, by the way, did I mention that only the winning team was safe from elimination this time? Just thought I'd clear that up. The other 3 teams all went into the elimination challenge. And also the blue team's there as well? That's weird. Anyway, there are a whole bunch of slots all scattered around the arena, and whoever didn't get into a slot and wasn't on the blue team since they won the challenge went into the voting. And also, there are a couple of extra prizes on offer that I didn't really want the blue team to miss out on. I guess that kinda makes sense. Anyway, a lot of the slots would take you within the first minute of the challenge, but there were a few slots that were just unbearably hard to reach, my goodness. But then, out of nowhere, watch this. Wow, that has got to be one of the best trick shots in the history of marble races. I mean, look, it even deserved a replay, my goodness. So Navy took the last safe spot, sending these 9 marbles into the voting. But also, I kind of changed up the voting system a little bit so people could vote for a marble they liked and a marble they didn't like. Look, I just wanted to sprinkle in a bit of positivity, okay? Anyway, I took everyone's votes and then I converted them all into a head start on this race. The last 3 marbles to get into that bowl over there were eliminated. Hey, would you look at that? No more dumb clones anymore. Anyway, blue took the last safe spot, causing turquoise, goldenrod, and aqua. Oh, wait, no, aqua just knocked blue away from the finish. I guess blue's out instead. Anyway, let's just get to the next team Wait, there is no team challenge? Everyone just goes straight into the elimination challenge? Gosh, it's called a team marble race for a reason. The elimination challenge was like a super huge tournament with like 8 different races all going on at once. I swear this seemed like a good idea at the time. Anyway, the first 2 marbles to finish each of these races was safe, and the rest of the marbles went on to the next round, rinse and repeat, until the 5th round, where the last 4 marbles raced on one final course that we can actually focus exclusively on this time, and the last 2 to finish were eliminated straight away. No voting, nothing. Amber and Raspberry ended up getting eliminated, but then they had a chance to get straight back into the game. And so did all the other eliminated marbles, and was commonly referred to as a rejoin. Viewers had to vote for 2 of these marbles to rejoin the game, but the voting system was a little bit complicated. They had to vote for 1 marble to join the red team and another marble to join the blue team, which sounded like a good idea at first, but it was actually pretty biased towards the red and blue marbles. I mean, I didn't realize everyone would just think, hey, red should join the red team, blue should join the blue team, just keep it simple. But it wasn't blue and red who came back, it was blue and olive, like olive of all marbles. Anyway, let's just get to the next team challenge. Each team's marbles had to race from there to there, but some of the older team's marbles had to block them with these shield things. Once they all got to the end, another member of the team had to break all their team's shields to win the challenge. Also, the red team earned an advantage in the last challenge, which gave them an extra shield breaking marble, except that they didn't even get to use that advantage because they didn't get to that part of the challenge before the green and yellow teams just finished the whole thing. Thanks a lot, Olive. No wonder everyone hates you. Oh, just a trigger warning. If you've got like epilepsy or something like that, please don't look at the video for the next... Just don't look until I say you can look, okay? Anyway, the marbles on the blue and red teams basically had to run 3 laps of this course. The first 5 marbles to finish each lap was safe, while the rest of the marbles went into the voting. Also, I kinda spent hours and hours making this flashy bottom 8 marbles indicator just so people didn't lose track of which lap their marble was on, I guess. Anyway, you can all look at the video now, it's all good. So these 8 slowpokes end up in the voting, but hang on, Green won the immunity gem all the way back in part 4, so he's actually safe from the voting. Translucent Blue, the last marble to be safe, would have taken his spot in the voting, but wait, he also won the immunity gem in part 7, didn't he? So his spot was taken by the next last marble to be safe, Night Sky. Just give my brain a break, okay? Anyway, that meant that these 8 marbles end up in the voting, so viewers had to upvote one marble and downvote another marble. The voting already ended in like 2019, but come on, it's 2025 and I still haven't even uploaded the next episode yet. So anyway, that's pretty much it for the whole recap business. Now, I do plan on finishing the series eventually, but there's definitely a few things I want to change up for the rest of the series. I'm planning to talk about this in the next part of the series anyway, but I figured I may as well bring up here as well. So firstly, no more voting. There's still going to be a voting challenge in part 10 because we still need to figure out who's eliminated here. But after that, each episode's only going to have a team challenge and an elimination challenge. But this time, if you lose the elimination challenge, you're out for good. Secondly, up to this point, we've only eliminated like 2 or 3 marbles every episode. If we keep going at that rate, it'd just take ages to finish the whole series, wouldn't it? So, to help make the series go faster, we're going to eliminate even more marbles every episode. So not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 marbles are going to be eliminated next episode. Oh, plus the 2 from the voting challenge, so technically 7? Oh, also, here's something I completely forgot to mention. Black and White actually have immunity gems since they both got them in the last episode. Since we're not really doing voting anymore, those gems kinda don't really make sense anymore. So in the next episode, they'll be transformed into something different. I don't really want to give too much away right now, but it'll definitely be worth having, okay? Anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I'm still not really sure when I'll actually start uploading the rest of the series, but I really hope I can finish off on a good note. See you in the next video, which will hopefully be an actual marble race this time.